Hey, true seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's January 9th, 2017. For the second year in a row, the college football championship is Alabama versus Clemson. Last year, the way the game was scripted, it was very easy to see that Alabama would get their 16th championship to begin 2016. This year, Alabama's going for number 17 in 2017. I'm torn on who's going to win this game. At the beginning of the year, I saw a tribute that I thought might mean Alabama would win the college football championship this year. Here they are, a game away from doing it. But there's some interesting numbers on this game that make me think Clemson has a better chance of winning this year. So I'm torn. I'm going to show you why. The number is 47. It is amazing how much this game is about the number 47. I think 47 is going to show up in a big way in the score tonight. As a reminder, the games that decided what the college football championship would be. Alabama won 24-7. Clemson won 31-0. Both games a sum of 31 points. Both games played on the 31st day of December, the final day of 2016. Alabama in gematria equals 31. Last year, Alabama's Derrick Henry won the Heisman exactly 31 days before the championship game. And I said, there's a major clue that Alabama's going to win number 16 in 2016. And last year I used the word guarantee that Alabama would win the game. This year I'm nowhere near as confident based on the information about who's going to win. And I just want to show you this because it's so interesting. Again, 31 is the 11th prime number. Football, a game of 11 on 11. The date numerology of today, the date of the game, 47, very special number to Freemasonry, the number that represents foundation, the first Super Bowl played in the 47th season of the NFL. To go back, there was a news story, September 5th, 2016, about a river turning red. News headlines referred to this river as the Crimson Tide. CNN and more. They all use the phrase Crimson Tide. And a lot of people don't get this. They could say, well, what does a river turning red in Russia have to do with U.S. college football? This is the piece you need to understand. These colleges, these universities, they're all part of a system that it's about indoctrinating the masses to an agenda known as the New World Order. The United States of America is not a sovereign nation. Russia's not a sovereign nation. These nations are all controlled by the New World Order, which is a Freemasonic, Zionist, Jesuit world order that controls information, money, banking, media, what's being taught in schools, what's being programmed through the tubes, including rigged sports games. And yes, these people do create bizarre tragedies, stories that are tributes to their future sports championships. And I've shown this again and again. Last year in Colorado, it was the Gold King mine disaster perfectly synced up with the Super Bowl. That river disaster turned the river orange in Colorado, where the Broncos wear orange, and where the Broncos went on to win the Super Bowl, perfectly synced up with that disaster. Go back and watch my work on the Gold King mine and the Super Bowl. This year, another river disaster, the river turning Crimson Tide, and seemingly from the date of the event to the championship being synced up with the championship. This is what made me say early in the season we could see the Alabama Tide going for the championship again. You know, last year, the first way I predicted the Broncos would win the Super Bowl was with another tragedy story. The death of a motorist on a Los Angeles freeway, supposedly being in a single car accident, being ejected out the rear window of their car and landing 20 feet above the freeway on the overpass sign that said Colorado Street. And I showed all the numbers in that story and I said, this is a sign the Broncos are winning the Super Bowl this year. Everyone thought that was crazy. It wasn't. That's what's going on in this world. The same people who give you your sports games are the same people who give you your news. You turn on that TV, you know it's the doorway to their information. Remember the word they. People say, who are they? Who is they? They equals 58, like Freemasonry, like secret society. Talk about how 58 is important to Alabama in a moment, too. But yeah, that was earlier this year. The river turning Crimson Tide, the big news story, that was 126 days before the championship. I've been saying again and again, 126, a number that shows up around championships. Run the table equals 126, the coding with Aaron Rodgers and what's going on in the NFL. Just put out a video on that, why we might see the Packers make it to the Super Bowl. When you write out 45 as a word, it also sums to 126. Last year, Alabama won 45-40. Remember, they won with 45 points over Clemson. The name Nicholas equals 45, the name of the head coach for Alabama. So that's the beginning of this. Now let's look at the rest. Let's look at the star quarterback and coach for each team and see what stands out. Deshaun Watson, who is a very talented football player, fun to watch. I think if the games weren't scripted, just because of how good this guy is, Clemson would win. And I think that would have been true last year too, when I guaranteed Alabama would win. But anyway, Deshaun Watson, born September 14th, 1995. Look at this. This is his birth numerology. 137, which is the 33rd prime number. Tigers equals 33, the team he plays for. Fitting. He's born on a date with a life lesson number of 47. His name, Deshaun Watson, equals 47. This year, the championship's on a date with 47 numerology. His birthday is also a date with 118 numerology, and from his birthday to the championship is a span of 118 days. 118 is relevant to Nike. Nike makes all the uniforms for college and the NFL. You know, think about the symbolism of Nike, this language that we're talking about, numbers into words. Remember, numbers break down to symbols as well. It all comes back to symbols being ruled over by symbols. 118, important to Nike, just do it. 118 days from his birthday is this championship. Perhaps Deshaun Watson will be the champion this year. We'll see. His date of birth is the day that leaves 108 days left in the year. 108. We're going to get to 108, but I just want to look at something in real time real quick. This could be very important. I want to see if there's any relevance to 257. It's something I didn't check when I did my research. 257 is the 55th prime number. Well, I haven't thought about how that fits in, but I should have checked that out before. Something more to think about after you watch this video. But what did stand out is the 108 days remaining on his birthday, because remember, Clemson's down in the Carolinas. Carolina lost in a lot of championships in recent history, but then this year, their baseball team, the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, which equals 108, they won the College World Series. I'd been saying since before the World Series began last year that the Cubs would win in spring training. I put out a video on why it was their year, why they were going to break the 108-year drought. Sears Tower, 108 stories tall. Major League, 108 stitches on the baseball, plus more. 108. Carolina, and now here's another Carolina team in a championship. The championship game synced up with Carolina's QB, who's born on the day that leaves 108 days left in the year. Could the favor be returned to Carolina this year? Last year losing championships, this year perhaps winning. Remember, football team lost, basketball team lost, North Carolina to Villanova. Panthers lost in the Super Bowl to the Broncos. This quarterback, he's from Gainesville, Florida. You know, Gators, Gatorade, the land of Manchurian athletes, birthed and named accordingly for their planned future roles in collegiate and professional sports. There's a lot of Manchurian athletes. I have no doubt this man, Deshaun Watson, is one. Notice Gainesville, Georgia equals 96 like Freemason. Gatorade, the big G. G represents 42, also like Freemason. Big G in the middle of the Freemason compass and square. Freemasonry created your American football and so much more. Likely creating your Manchurian athletes. The coach for Deshaun Watson is Dabu Sweeney. Notice how old he is this year. 47. 47. This year in the NFL, it'll also be the 47th Super Bowl of the modern era. So this would be their second crack at the title. The word second has gematria of 24 and 33. Tigers has gematria of 33 and 42. The overlap is with 33. Deshaun Watson has the 33 connection through his birth numerology. Will the second time be the charm for the Tigers? I'll be interested if they wear orange tonight because orange is the only color that sums to 33 in gematria. The date of today's game, January 9th, 2017, it also has a 27 connection. Clemson equals 27. That doesn't always mean that the team is going to win. Sometimes they're the GOAT or the sacrifice for the event. And with regards to Deshaun Watson and 118, I talked about how that number connects to Nike. The number 118 also has a negative side. It's a number often connected to death and sacrifice. It could mean that Deshaun Watson's to be the sacrifice for the second year in a row. I don't know that that's true. Based on what I see, Clemson has a better chance of winning this year than they did last year. And let me go back. Let's rewind a second, then we'll come back to this. A big part of that reason is because of this. Alabama heads into this championship 14-0. And as I've been explaining, streaks end at 14. The word end has gematria 14. Last year, Clemson was 14-0, and Alabama was 13-1. This year, Clemson's 13-1, and Alabama's 14-0. So, remember, championship equals 131. Championship equals 131. Last year, Alabama was 13-1 heading in. This year, Clemson is. The script is flipped. And also, Dabu Sweetie, look at where he's from. He's from Birmingham, Alabama. He's from Alabama himself. If Clemson wins in a way, it's a win for Alabama. The coach is from Alabama. There'll be a lot of people in Alabama happy if Clemson wins. Not as many people as if Alabama won itself, but it is very interesting that 2 years in a row he's facing Alabama and he's from Birmingham, Alabama. His birth numerology, 119, the number for all-seeing eye, Star of David, master plan. 29, football the small way equals 29. Also 31, Alabama 31. From his birthday to the championship is 50 days. America equals 50, 50 states. Guess what? Dabu Sweetie equals 50. How perfect is that? It's also a span of 51 days if you count the end date. Conspiracy 51, Super Bowl 51 upcoming, 47th Super Bowl of the modern era. The name Dabu Sweetie equals 131, like championship, like Super Bowl, like 57. I want to see what the drive was from his hometown to where University of Alabama is located. How funny is that? 58 miles, huh? He's from Birmingham, which equals 58. That's a special number. United States equals 58 with the S exceptions. So now let's come over here and look at the other quarterback. Alabama has a different quarterback this year. This year it's the freshman Jalen Hurts. He's born August 7th, 1998, currently 18 years old. Deshaun Watson's 21. You know, if Clemson wins, they'll say, well, they had the more experienced quarterback. And, you know, if he wins, he's going to go out probably to the NFL next year on top as a champion. So that's why, you know, things look a lot better for Clemson this year. But Jalen Hurts in gematria sums to 47, just like Deshaun Watson. Big number on the game. Dabu Sweetie, 47. Nick Saban even equals 47. Special number to Freemasonry. Jalen's also a name with 42 gematria, number often stamped on black men, especially in athletics. He's born on a date with 42 numerology, August 7th, 1998. From his birthday to the game is 155 days or a span of 156. When you write out 33, it sums to 156. Again, his opponent, Tigers, equals 33. It's the second year in a row, the same championship, second 33. Crimson Tide, just want to remind you, school name has the gematria 57, number connected to championships, and Crimson Tide have a lot of them. Alabama Crimson Tide in gematria sums to 160. Think about how they won number 16 to start 16, 160, a lot like 16. Here's Nick Saban, born on the 31st of October. October, the only 33 month. Born on a date with a life lesson number of 57. Crimson Tide, number connected to championships. Very winning coach. Think second to Bear Bryant in Alabama history. He's also born on a date with 41 numerology. 41's the 13th prime. Again, USA equals 41. USA began with 13 colonies, 13 stripes, 13 years of public school programming. Alabama equals 13 in Pythagorean gematria. From his birthday to the championship is 70 days. Alabama Crimson Tide 70. I mean, how perfect. How perfect these alignments with the coaches. It's amazing. Nick Saban in gematria. All the numbers you see. 29 like football. 38 like his QB, Jalen Hurts. And 47 also like Jalen Hurts. 74 like Masonic. Dabu Sweeney was the only name that didn't sum to 47, but his name summed to 50, and it's 50 days from his birthday. So I wish I paid more attention to the college football season this year. There were probably some major clues left along the way in the games and the schedule. If between now and game time, if you want to watch this video and then go back and look at these teams' schedules and see if there were any standout games, numbers we're talking about here, you could find the clue. 47-point win. As for a score tonight, just remember these numbers. We might see any of these combination of numbers shown up in the game. Remember, in English reduction on the calculator, it always makes S worth 1. S can also be worth 10, so any word with an S in English reduction format can also be worth 9 more. Clemson is also 36. Tigers is also 42. Only with the English reduction, though. Crimson Tide is also 66. Alabama Crimson Tide also 79. The word champion using the alphabetic order 79. So just a few things to remember. And just use these websites. writingthebeast.com for your gematria breakdowns. Use the English ordinal and English reduction. Number Empire. Good website for showing you facts about numbers. Yeah, I'll just watch this game with interest tonight. Can't tell for sure who's going to win. If you're a risk ratio guy, I know Clemson's paying more. They're the underdog. I think they got a strong chance to win it. I don't know that they're going to win it. A lot's lined up for Alabama this year. But, you want to take a risk? Clemson has a chance this year. So that's all for now, Truth Seeker. Until next time, I figured I better look this up. Just to be certain, Bear Bryant, former Alabama college football coach, leads all coaches all time with 6 championship wins. Major accomplishment in college football where there's hundreds of teams. 6 is a number connected to prophecy. When you write out 6 as a word, it has the gematria connection to prophecy. Special number. Bear Bryant coached at Alabama just like Nick Saban, who's currently at 5. If Nick Saban wins today, he's going to be tied with Bear Bryant. So what we're going to learn is Nick Saban meant to tie the bear. And if he is, this is the year to do it. Check this out. The word bear in gematria sums to 17. Here we are at the beginning of 2017. Nick Saban can tie Bear Bryant. You could also look at this saying Bear Bryant's meant to be in a class of his own, and no, Nick Saban's not going to tie him. We'll find out. Here's what's interesting. When you write out 17 as a word, it sums to 37. When you write out Nick as a word, it sums to 37. 2017 has an independent year numerology like this. 20 plus 17 is 37. Nick, 17 titles for Alabama in 17, tying Bear Bryant. I'm glad I went that extra distance. This is a reminder. This gematria study, to unlock, the winner, you have to turn over all the important stones and decode. And I think there's probably still a few more stones to turn over, but just based on the river turning red, this Nick Saban, Bear Bryant thing, I think we might see Alabama win again. Again, I can't guarantee it. I'm not confident like last year. I could still see it going either way. But something tells me they want Nick to tie the bear. Until next time.